etie for ni ahwɛ for ayi daily update TV so ɔta ahwɛ anaasɛ ɛnɛ na first time ahwɛ nso so a ɛni di no bo kwan so na wasɔ kama sɛ nyɛ news bia na ɔhyɛ bia bɛnya notification phone so na wabɛhwɛ afei nso ɔma mfi sɛ ɔbɛhyɛ ama ɔdamfo so ɛnyɛ bia hwɛ tie for me go straight am do so ɛyɛ auditor general former auditor general of ɛyɛ Republic of Ghana no a yɛfrɛ no ɛyɛ Daniel Domelevo no ɛna aba abɔnten kyɛ sɛ ne nsɛm na ɔka no wabɛliki some ɛyɛ conversation bi a ɔne F.Opare ɛnyaeɛ ɛwɔ ɛyɛ some hotel bi a well known hotel bi ɛwɔ Kumasi kyɛ sɛ ɛnyɛ asɛm ketewa na no conversation no with ɛyɛ F.Opare no ɔkeka nsɛm bi a na ɛkyerɛ sɛ na ɛbi pama nyɔko no ɔmo suro ɛyɛ yɛnka nsɛ Domelevo yi nti nsɛm a ɛyɛ F.Opare aba abɔnten a wabɛka ɛde afa bi pama nyɔko no ho no saa information nyinaa no ɛyɛ yɛ nua bɛrima panyin a yɛfrɛ no ɛyɛ Domelevo yi aba abɔnten abɛkeka saa nsɛm wɔ nyinaa mede ka mo ne nkutu no yɛba ne yɛkeka nsɛm bi about nneɛma a ɔkeka fa ɛyɛ atɔfɔɔsen ɛne ɛyɛ Godfred case no aba no so ka mo ne nkutu yɛba ne ato nkɔtwitwa no so.
And even the president, our presidency was quiet, so I knew a challenge was coming. The first confrontation came when I sent a team to go and audit national health insurance. Then Diajima came in to say that one Dr. Yawano, who was then the chief executive, had come to him to say that the team had raised some audit observations and he was not comfortable with them. So he, the chairman, should intervene. And I said he should back off. He had no right and mandate to supervise audit or to conduct audit. So why would he go in there? Even me as an auditor general, I will not interfere with the audit process. The process must end, and we will see the observations raised and the answers provided. That will determine whether the issue will be taken forward or not taken forward. He was not happy. He wrote the entire board and said he wanted to intervene, and I stopped him. So the board should come in. When he did that, he attached a copy of the audit observations, which are confidential documents, and sent that to the board. The next day, I was driving to the office when I got a call from, I think, CTFM, or one of them. I'm not too sure whether it's JFM or CTFM. I got a call, and they wanted us to discuss the audit observations. And I said, no. Audit observations, I don't have them because they are issued by the team. I don't issue observations, so I don't know what you are talking about. By the way, for me to know what exactly you are talking about, can you share with me what you have? So they forwarded it to me. When I received it, then I saw that it was the observations that were attached to the memo of Diajima and sent to the board because it has a stamp, the same stamp that National Health Insurance stamped on the memo or the observation receiving it. It was exactly the same thing. So then I knew there was going to be a problem. I didn't think it was going to go far. I went for a program in Kumasi a few weeks later. When I reached, what do you call it? What those days we call Golden Tulip, now forgotten, Lancaster or whatever they call it now. I went there to take breakfast. I saw Madam, the chief of staff, Frema. I saw her seated looking at the door. So our eyes met, and I went to greet her. And she said, please take a seat by me. I want us to have discussion. He told the others to excuse her. And she said, my people say you are working against her. What is it that you are doing against her? And I said, Madam, if you are a bit more specific, then I will understand what you are saying. And she said, I'm told you are auditing National Health Insurance. You say you are auditing from 2012, 2018 or thereabouts, but then you are only focusing on 2017, 2017 and 18, which is our period. So you went under the disguise that you are auditing about 6 or 7 years. Meanwhile, your concentration is only on 1 or 2 years, which is our period. And you have raised very damning findings. So I said, Madam, God is wonderful. When coming to Kumasi, it is just that morning that I received the copy of the draft audit report. which I was supposed to review. And I was reviewing it on my way coming to Kumasi. Now, when I reached the hotel, I should have left the report in the car. But I said, no, this report is sensitive. I don't want my policeman or driver to look at it. So I took it. So I was holding it. So I said, Madam, to clear your doubt, I will show you just the summary. So the summary page, I said, look at the items. There were about 35 or 36 observations. Out of the 35 or 36 thereabout observations, 30 of them was up to 2015. It is only 4 or 5 which covered 2017 and 2018. So where is the targeting that you are talking about? Except that even though there were only 4 observations for your period, the amount involved is far more than the 30 other observations. That one is true. But for these 4, there will have been nothing in the current regime. And that is what we have not wanted to prevent, but could not prevent it. It is that case which went to court when I disallowed and sacred ßRêndə. And ßRêndə filed a suit against me, and the case went to the High Court. The High Court ruled in my favor. So the High Court said, go and pay the money. But then the ßRêndə lawyers now appeal to the Court of Appeal, challenging the original jurisdiction of the Auditor General, not the third charge. I believe that that was the mandate of the Auditor General. And I said, no, I don't believe that. I looked for the case and read it and said, no. There were weaknesses here. That is not what the court said. However, not long, about a month or two, the judgment came in Occupy Ghana versus Attorney General, where the Supreme Court unanimously said that this is required of the Auditor General. They did not only conclude that way, they went ahead and gave consequential orders to the Auditor General and said, anytime you come across this, you must do this. So I told them, guys, now we cannot do otherwise. You were referring to a case which went to a high court, which even I disagree with your interpretation about what the court said. But now the Supreme Court, which is the final arbiter, has come in and said, this is what we should do, and we must do it. So we have to do it.
You must have left a lot of people uncomfortable at the Auditor General's department.
That one, you are very, very right on it. Very, very right.
You mentioned the name of Professor D. Ajiman. He was the board chair of the Audit Service, right?
Yes, he became the board chair of the Audit Service and thought it was his second coming as a senior Auditor General. He confused the role of the board and that of the Auditor General.
He confused the two roles. He thought he was actually the Auditor General.
Yes.
Why do you say so?
Because he was interfering with my activities. When even I draw his attention, it doesn't seem to occur to him. So I constantly reminded him that you are a board chairman, you are not the Auditor General. And this board, together with you, have no mandate in Ghana to do audit or supervise audit. So stop talking about audit. You have no right to interfere. But he started interfering, as a result of which I even petitioned the office of the president to inform the president that your chairman is interfering with my constitutional mandate. The presidency came and deceived the whole world that they set up a committee chaired by the secretary to the president, Nana Asante Beki. Up to today, I don't know whether it's today, this morning, or this afternoon, that committee will sit and call me. So he was seeing himself as Auditor General instead of board chairman.
The committee set up by the president never called you. Did you see a report anyway?
The committee never called me. I've never seen their report either.
Can I ask you a question? Because there are many occasions when you speak to public officers who attempt what you attempt, who tell you a story about when they realized that they were in real trouble, confrontations among others. Did you have experiences that really told you that this may be the beginning of the end for me in this office if these people are able to carry through what they are thinking?
Yes, I knew. Because there were a series of confrontations or issues which told me that no, this man is here to frustrate me. And I petitioned the presidency.
Abusuafo na for ye nyina hu niema na ye nya tensania eye auditor general former auditor general IFN Domelevo yaw Daniel no babonten abestupe eye F.Opare naked pa enya asem ketua na nsem na oka no okekan de ye ya okuhia eye F.Opare Campo Hotel because ozenna or kokuma se wakoya de na ogina baby hotel bi se or have some breakfast na ɛhɔ no na ɔkɔkɔhu sɛ ɛyɛ F.Opare so ɛwɔ the same hotel a ɛnya asɛm ketewa sɛ ɛyɛ F.Opare so to nsa frɛ sɛ ɛwɔ wɔn mbra krampo no ne wɔn nkɔmmɔ bi krampo di ankyɛ sɛ ɛyɛ F.Opare keka n'akoma mu nsɛm nyinaa ɛkyerɛ ɛyɛ Domelevo yi sɛ sɛnea wɔdze investigate MVP Amanyɔkuo no health insurance ne ade no mu nyinaa no ɔnto ne bo ase kyerɛ sɛ that means sɛ tension paa na arise ɛwɔ ɛyɛ MVP Amanyɔkuo ni ma kyerɛ sɛ na ɔtɔ pressure ama ɔmo a ɛyɛ F.Opare ba abɔnten abɛkeka nsɛm mu nyinaa owie no ɛna ɔkaa sɛ ɛyɛ attorney general ɛne ɛnka sɛ Godfred ɛne ato force in case no ɛne third accuser ɛfa no Richard Japan no ɔkeka ho asɛm kakra na ɔkaa sɛ woyɛ adwuma ma aban na ɛwɔ sɛ woyɛ loyal to the country called Ghana. Don't be loyal to a political party bi a wo hu ne sɛ wo interest wo ma na sɛ ɔmo na appoint wo ma wobɛyɛ saa de nti wopɛ sɛ saa aspect of that political party na na pɛ so woyɛ much interested ɛwɔ hɔ biribi a ɔbɛka bia na woyɛ because yɛkae ɔno a Mahama na appoint no nanso so nyɛ biribiara na fa sɛ ɔkɔ against ɛyɛ MVP Amanyɔkuo no wode kam ne nkɔti nsɛm a ɔde tutu dwa ɔpa kyɛ sɛ ɛyɛ Godfred no ɛyɛ loyal to ɛyɛ MVP Amanyɔkuo no but ɔnyɛ loyal to ɛyɛ country called Ghana kam ne nkɔti ne ba na yɛde nkɔmmɔ twetwe no aba no wie.
Yeah, what we put in place is called internal control. We have a lot of rules and regulations to reduce abuse of public funds. That is the reason of the Appropriation Act, which is a mandate to use the budget or the funds of the public. Then there are laws like the Public Financial Management Act, which prescribe how you use the money. There is also Public Procurement Act, which also prescribes how you go about with procurement-related activities. There are internal audit officers established by Internal Audit Act, which is supposed to ensure that rules and regulations. The Audit Service has also been established, or the Office of the Auditor General has been established by Article 187, which gives him the Auditor General the mandate to audit and ensure that everything is above board. So these are all controls in place. And at the end of the day, the audit report goes to Parliament, and Parliament is supposed to set up a committee to look at it, which is usually the Public Accounts Committee. All these systems must work together to ensure that our monies are used well. But if these institutions are there and they cannot function as expected or as required of them, then you can be sure that we have created a waste pipe. You will be spending so much money, but what to show for it becomes a problem.
Like you said, all the institutions are there. You said if they do not work together, why is it difficult to get this institution to do exactly what they are supposed to do for us to get the value for money that you talk about? Because you worked within, you worked in the Control and Accountant General Department before you became the Auditor General. Why is there difficulty to get that done efficiently?
Yes. Ordinarily, you may expect that these institutions to work together for the good of the country. I normally refer to the budget cycle as accountability cycle, because Parliament approves the budget, the Minister of Finance disburses it, Accountant General makes the payment, internal auditors ensure that things are going well, external auditor come later on, identify any infractions and report it to Parliament, and people are held accountable, etc. But you find out that This is the work rather in silos instead of working together. Even working in silos is an understatement. At times they work against each other, especially the anti-graft institutions, which have been created on top of all this. You find out that they are conflicting each other, undercutting each other, and at times one is even used against the other one. So that is the problem, especially if you are not in line with the thinking of the government. Most of the time, you find yourself at the other side. So that is the unfortunate position we find ourselves, because public servants are not independent-minded, and they don't think that their loyalty is to the country. They see their loyalty to the presidency or the government instead of the country. So that is our problem.
Loyalty to the government instead of the country. Was that why you suffered?
But that is, I call it occupational hazard. You cannot do the right thing in this world and always enjoy. There is always the cost to it. So people who are going into public service must be ready to do the right thing and face the consequences. I tell people that most of the time, people think that when you are in public office, it must be rosy. No, it is not. You are going to serve the public interest, and this affects individuals who also want to abuse their offices. And you must hold them accountable. And like I say time and again, anytime you fight corruption, corruption will fight you back. Whether you are right or wrong, corruption will fight you, and it fights in any way that it can. And it fights everybody without exception. So that should not be the problem. You may have to decide whether you are ready to face the challenges of the office or you don't go at all. It's as simple as that. Once you accept it, you must go. I always liken the public office to other public offices, like being a policeman. You know that being a policeman, you can be called upon by the Inspector General or your superior and say, there are armed robbers over here, go and arrest them. You may come back alive or dead, but that is your job. You must just do it. Thank you.
So you actually expected the fight back?
Of course. I said it long ago before it started. I always said it, that once you fight corruption, corruption will fight you. And let me be honest with you, I knew it was going to fight me, because my previous experiences tells me that corruption will fight back. And I was in another African country where there was a corruption case, a very grand one, involving the people at the top. And the director in charge of anti-corruption was being prevailed upon to cover the top men and hold some junior officers accountable or use them as a scapegoat. He had a meeting with me, and I encouraged the gentleman. I said, look, put your national interest first. Put your country first. Don't bow to whatever inducement they are giving you or bribes they are offering you. They are even going to make him an ambassador and give him some huge amount of money so that he can settle outside the country. I said, don't take it. Put your country first. This young man listened to me. When he was going out of my office, he stood at the door, turned and looked at me and said, sir, I'll put my country first. Then, do you know, less than 30 minutes, I had information that the gentleman had been kidnapped at his gate.
Meti for Hanedi Messi. Na yebeka Odin Masam Kakra. In Yatin Sanyana Daniel ya Domelevo, Auditor General of Ghana former na name no kind conversation be on F.Opare dear hotel on so waba bontin abeleki some information na enya sam gutwa we no ke kan sim be about ya force ene Godfred dame ene third accuser na omo phone conversation na aba bontin say omo ye press conference just nipo di anim no see doing ketia ne sam gemfimo a enya sam gutwa no eno no be kan sim kakra fa on kan say Godfred dame no onye loyal to a country called Ghana. As well loyal to some political party via omadene ebasa position into obeya oman in the onye vigilant because one share on some on my name or some political party be. You can say maybe are not a very in with no adventure about comments that more down for so any subscribe my need no book and so yeah, the for years about daily bit